origin is about. And yeah, I remember the first art that came about. The most important, the earliest monument was the Dome of the Rock, and they adopted a lot of Roman features, but then they kind of added things to make it on their own. Now, although much in ruin, this is in Syria today. This is the more typical mosque you will see in Arab. This is the more typical mosque. You usually have very identifiable minaret. Okay. Usually, since it's Middle East and you have a lot of weather. You usually have, this is all in ruin. Originally, they all have roof and huge courtyard. Okay? Since they want to bring a lot of people, what's the main purpose of a mosque? To prayer. Okay, specifically prayer. Okay, so on what day?
Fridays.
On Fridays you come. So you want to make sure you want to bring all the people. So hence you have a large courtyard. And they found it more like practical to have it outdoors and indoor. For one, you can accommodate as many people. And also, a large space like this. This is supposed to be, it looks very deceiving. It's like 600 feet long. So it's a huge setting here. So large setting like this with a hall intact, with no air, they would have windows. It became very, very stuffy. So they, because remember this is Middle East, so their temperature tends to be high. So hence it just made sense more to be outdoors, even though it's with the sun. You have a lot of air going. Plus, you will see in the other buildings, you have a lot of arches, and so there's it creates shadow on all four sides as the time goes by. So yeah, you want to come early to be in the shadow side, for prayer. So anyway, so because of the circulation, because of the air, it became more practical. Now, also what becomes more typical. You can do it while putting down. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Your arms do it. It's like 1.5. Okay, so it's going to be more evident in the other words. But I wanted to, use starting this example. This is one of the earliest, and as I said, it's the biggest. Usually, they mark off the Qibla. And what's Qibla?
The direction.
Good. Why is that important? You are facing. Okay, usually it's marked by, again, when they originally had a building, see how you have all this building structure, but here it's left, there's one going across, but more or less it's left empty, right? So originally they had arches here. So when they come in, usually here's a door, it would be evident to all where the Qibla is. Okay, they mark it off, and usually there's no obstruction in terms of the architecture. Usually, especially when you are inside here, this is a part where you can go. Obviously, the clerics and the more high officials are inside. In here, not only is Qibla marked here, but inside here as well. And they did it by means of a niche. Niche is where you carve into the wall. Usually in a arch form. They carve out an arch form into it, and we call that mihrab. Mihrab is the niched archway. So they carve into the wall. Okay, niched. It's a niche, but it's an arch niche way. And the mihrab itself represents the arched, niche that represents Qibla. Okay, Qibla is Qibla refers to just the direction to Jerusalem. So it can be identified by anything, but usually it became a convention in all these mosques, all throughout the Middle Ages, by means of marking it through mihrab. The mihrab is a niche, but in an arch form. Okay, they carve the wall out. Okay, so that's what you did. And I'll show you examples of this. So rather than those dome structures, some would still utilize dome. This becomes the more conventional. So you go to Middle East, typically all the mosques would look like this. Oh, this is how it looks from the side. As I said, it's an enormous structure. Okay, I mean, the doors are, this small. Doors actually, it's an enormous structure. Originally had roof on the side.
That's a lot of stairs.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to climb up every day too. I'll sit, 5 times a day. Hopefully, they take turns. So you go up there to the prayer. Okay, this is one in another one in Northern Africa, and it depends on the building, but the preference became the mirror become integrated into a structure. The previous one, remember, it's separated from the mosque, but they began to integrate. And another preference is, on the sides where the walls are, they began to use rows and rows of columns called the anyway. So this is one in Algeria, and this is see how it's integrated. The minaret is integrated. See the huge courtyard where people come. Again, the idea is you have enough air flowing, so you don't feel too hot. Plus, again, during the day, you would always have shadow on one side at least, right? And all along the frame, it's not just the frame; they're actually rooms. These are some where the clerics have their own study or some administrative all along. So they are kind of like always in shadow. And they have like windows here and sometimes on the outside, so they have enough air flowing, so again, they don't feel too hot. Okay, so this is very, very typical also Arab, as well as you see, even Northern Africa. Okay, now this is in Iran, so it spreads all the way to Iran. Let's see. This one. Yeah, I guess this is the only one I have from your book. Okay. Now, Iran, the ancient name for Iran is Persians. Now, Persians are different ethnic group from Arab. Ethnically they're different, their writings are different, so they have a distinct culture, but they adopt Islam. The original religion they had was one of those, the nature god as well. They worship the sun god. But then, since the coming of the Muslim people, they indeed began to adopt it. Okay, so I'm looking for a map, but I had one.